everyone. Welcome to another edition of SuperNova Commencements. Welcome, graduates. We're excited to have you, and young professionals. I know you join us as well. Today, we have a very special speaker in honor of Father's Day. It is my dad, R.K. Sehgal. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Kashi.
How are you?
Good. Good to be here.
Good, yeah. Well, it's good to have you.
Thank you.
On the show. So Dad is not just my dad. He was Commissioner of Industry, Trade, and Tourism, which is basically economic development for the state of Georgia. He was Chairman and CEO of Law Companies Group, which he grew to be one of the largest engineering consultants in the world. And he's an author, new author. He's an investor. He's a friend. He's a community leader. I don't know what else. I mean, there's so many adjectives.
That's enough.
Yes, we could go on and on. So welcome. And we're going to kick things off today. I'm going to ask questions, and then students will open it up to you for your question, and we'll get them answered.
All right.
Okay, so to kick things off, I know the answer to these questions, obviously, but where did you go to school?
I went to school in India. I graduated from a high school in India. Then I came to United States. I went to school at Auburn University. I graduated from the Auburn University in Bachelor's in Civil Engineering in 1963.
What was it like to be at Auburn in Alabama in 1963?
Very different. So it was so different. There were only 9 international students, and I think I found myself in a different culture. And as a matter of fact, when I talk to the people at Auburn, they have no idea about any international thing. So I think we were just the guinea pig trying to introduce them what international the thing is all about. So that was the first experience in Auburn. So I think by the time we finished, I think these people knew a little bit more about other things. So we had some international dinners. We have some international, functions. And as a matter of fact, we collected enough money from the dinners, international dinners. With that money, we bought an international United Nations flag, and we presented that to President Drawn, the president of the university. This is the first time there was exposure of United Nations to the Auburn University. So I'm very proud, and that flag still stands in the office of the president of Auburn University.
Wow.
Yes.
You've been a leader for such a long time, even in India, before you. Okay, so let's back up. Can you please tell everybody a brief summary, such a long story, of how you got to the United States?
I was very active politically, and then I got so involved in politics that the governor of the state became my mentor. So I will use the word mentor many times. So he said to my father that he would like to send me to United States for studies. When I come back, he would like for me to enter into politics, and I'll be the youngest minister in his cabinet. So what happened? The fate has something else. He had a heart attack. The governor had a heart attack. He died. And then I said to my parents that that governor is dead. I'm still alive. I like to go to England to earn money, then go to United States. My mother sold her jewelry to buy my ticket. I cannot forget the sacrifices the parents make for their children. So I came air to London. From there, I went to Birmingham, England. So there I worked 3 in factories, invested money, bought a house, and started renting. And then after I made enough money, somebody went to my home, and my father asked, "Am I going to school?" And my friend said, "No, he's involved in politics and he's earning money. he's investing. So my father was very angry. He wrote me a 9-page letter saying, you promise that you will make money, save money, and go to United States for studies. And within 2 weeks, I wrapped up and I went to U.S. Embassy, and I asked them to give me a list of all the colleges in United States. They gave me the list of all colleges, and when I saw the list, Alabama Polytechnic Institute was on the top. I have no idea that what these schools are all about. So I thought it's number one. So I applied there at the Auburn. They changed the name to Auburn University from Alabama Polytechnic Institute. So in that, I start going to Auburn University. I came. Rest of the stories, if you want me to, I tell you how my first experience was.
Yeah, well, a lot of these stories are in his new book, Close the Loop. So we're not going to get to all of them. Hopefully you will check out the book, and there's too many stories to get to today. So you got to the United States. You were a born leader, but you also took chances, right? You left India.
Mm-hmm.
Then you left the UK.
Mm-hmm.
You made a commitment to your dad and your mom, and you came to the United States. How hard was it to take that leap of faith and just know that things were going to work out? Or did you?
Kashi, it was not leap was not hard. It was scary, very scary. As a matter of fact, when I left London on a train to Birmingham, England, I was saying, why the heck I did that? I could have a job in India, would have been just fine. So that was the experience. If you want me to tell you what happened with the ticket collector, I'll be more than happy to do that.
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, so what happened that the ticket collector came in the train asking everybody to show their tickets. So everybody in my compartment, they tore up the ticket, gave half to the ticket collector, half kept it. So after 15 minutes, the ticket collector came back very unhappy. He wanted us to show our tickets again. So when he came to me, he grabbed me. He was very unhappy. He said, why did you tear up your ticket? I said, everybody was doing it. He said, everybody had a return ticket. You have a single way ticket. So you should not have tore it. So that was my first experience traveling in the British Railways. So it was very scary. And it was not hard, but I think you can tell that that's how I started.
Yeah, small things were unknown, right?
Right.
But just like you're saying, so
Right.
You have a story about just a simple thing of having tea.
Right.
You went to get tea from a tea stall at the bus station?
Bus station, Greyhound bus station. I go there. I said, I would like to have a cup of tea. So they said, fine. So they gave me a kettle with boiling water and a tea bag. So when I came in, I tore up the tea bag, put in my cup and put hot water. So, but I could not drink tea because there were a lot of tea leaves in that. So I went back to the counter. I said, could you please give me a filter? And this lady said, son, why do you want a filter? I said, the tea leaves are in my tea. So she looked at me. She said, what did you do? I told her. I said, no, you're not supposed to open it. Just leave the tea bag in there. So she taught me how to make the first tea with a tea bag in the United States.
Yeah, because in India, you use land of the tea.
Right.
You use loose leaf tea.
Precisely.
Right.
And I have a filter.
So it's just these like small examples that, think about all the experiences that he had it seems funny right now, but when you're going through it, like you said, it is scary.
Scary, yes, that's
You
the
know, it's
word.
like, what else don't I know?
Precisely.
How did you overcome that? And how do students today overcome? It's a very uncertain world right now. How do students right now overcome that fear like you did?
I think, but if you have that you are trying to achieve something, if you have a big goal, that these things become small hindrances in your life, and you overcome these small obstacles because you're trying to go after a big goal. My goal was to graduate from Auburn University, find a job, and be successful and make a name and help other people. So that's the reason it helped me to overcome some of these difficulties. I classified them as small obstacles.
And
Okay.
so, how do students embody that? How can they learn how to do that?
Same when you find a difficult time, do courage, don't stop. And you know you're trying to achieve a bigger goal, you must start thinking about the bigger goal, and then you will find a solution to overcome these difficulties.
So, talking about a bigger goal, you majored in engineering, civil engineering, and then got to where you are today. I don't want to take your story, but how did you go from being an engineer to being the leader that you are today? I mean, you've led in so many different environments at the state level and private company. How did that happen?
Kashi, if you don't mind, if I can go back
Sure.
about the, commencement speaker.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I think all my life I have learned one word. From the childhood, the word is mentorship. Mentorship. Because all my life I have different mentors, and that's the reason when I became in a position that I could help other people, I took the role of a mentorship for other people. I'm going to give you very small examples. Small examples. When I was in commencement speeches, I learned from a man called Edward Bennett Williams. He was a very famous lawyer in Washington, D.C. He owned part of the Washington Redskin. I learned from him that I want you to know that most of the commencement speakers are long and boring. Try to make your speech with a theme and make it short. So I learned that from him. So I have given several speeches, two speeches that I remember. One was at Georgia Tech, and the other one was a rural college in So let me tell you, my theme was in rural Georgia. First of all, can I ask you give me, or anybody else, give me the name of your commencement speaker? 95% of the people will not know the name of the commencement speaker. Am I right? These speeches I gave in rural Georgia, I ask you and ask Kabir to tell me what should I tell them about the commencement. So you and Kabir gave me some good ideas, and I remember Edward Bennett Williams. He said, make the speeches short and have interesting. So I got up, created some what do you call it? Some suspense. Sorry, suspense. And I said, I have worked very hard, students. There was about 250 students. I worked very hard trying to come up with a theme for you to remember. I got up, the president of the university introduced me, and I said, created some suspense, and I said, my speech to you is, do not smoke. And I sat down, and the president of the university said, Commissioner, is that it? I said, that's it, no more. So I want you to know, I'll come back to Georgia Tech in a minute. I want you to know I still get calls, I still get emails, I still get phone calls from people. They say they remember who their commencement speaker was when he said what he said, that do not smoke. In Georgia Tech, there were over 7,000 graduation people in the auditorium in the, I think, the sports arena. I asked the president, Pat Creasine, why so many people are in this graduation. He said, RK, since I was the speaker, he said, you don't understand. It's very difficult to graduate from Georgia Tech. When you graduate from Georgia Tech, you invite everybody in the neighborhood. So my speech over there was purely mentorship, because in my life I have mentors like John Portman. When I was looking for a job, John Portman, I went to him. He was on a drawing board. He was not that famous. I asked him, I have three offers. What should I take? He encouraged me to go with law engineering. It's a small company. So they became my mentor. JB Fuqua became my mentor. And then I can tell you that even when the meetings I started, in the meetings I had a theme. In that meetings, I had John Imlay. He was also a part owner in Falcons. He started the meeting. He used to come with a tiger. So I learned from him. When I started my meetings, I came with a tiger. I came on the elephant, and I came on a hot air balloon. So that way, people may not remember what I said, but they do remember what the theme of the meeting. For instance, when I brought a tiger, I had about 5 companies and everybody was fighting amongst themselves. My theme was to tell them, if your life, if your relationship, and if your future is dependent on somebody, you become friends. So my future and my life was dependent on the tiger. I worked with the tiger for a week. After that, my tiger became my friend. And all these 6 presidents who were fighting, they became friends after seeing what happened between me and the tiger. So mentorship to me is the most important thing.
So mentorship, but also developing relationships. I mean, you developed a relationship with the tiger so that you developed trust.
Yes, yes.
So could you talk about why building relationships is so important for your future?
I think relationship is the foundation of any business. If you don't have a relationship, I think business is just not that reliable. So to me, I'm not going after the relationship only to gain something. I go after the relationship to make a lasting. And as a matter of fact, I can give you several examples of the relationship. Those relationships came back to help me all my life. And then you asked me a question before. You said, well, how come I went to economic development? First of all, I have advice for you. Do not choose your or the field you want to work based on what your parents say. I made a mistake, Kashi. My father wanted me to be an engineer. I did not want to be an engineer. As a faithful and obedient son, I obliged him. I became an engineer. But my passion was to serve people and to create and manage. So I found a way. I came through engineering, in law engineering, but I found a way to do my thing. My passion was helping people, creating jobs. So I came in through the back door. So my advice to you is you should choose the profession that you want, not what your parents want. So that's my advice to you.
Because it's about passion and what you're really interested in.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you became a leader because you enjoy building relationships. You really enjoy people.
Yes, absolutely.
You get energy from relationships.
Absolutely.
So to you, leadership is also about interacting with people and the relationships that you build, right?
Yes.
With the people around you.
Yes.
Whether it's employees or managers or whoever it is.
Leadership is a two-way street. It's not that you lead people. I think people will help you lead also. So I think my relationship has been just not one-dimensional. My relationship has been not only, I'm not making the relationship only for one incident. When I make a relationship, I make the relationship for life. As a matter of fact, when you talk about the books, my book that Kabir and I wrote, in that book, you will see many testimonials. The theme of the testimonial will be that when you have a friend in RK, he's friend for life. So I achieved what I wanted to make sure people could think of me as a friend for life.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna do a student question. We're running out of time. So what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
My best piece of advice was that when you do something for somebody, don't have any selfish interest. Just serve the cause, and then you will be surprised the reward will come automatically. Don't look for the rewards before you work with somebody. I think a reward will come automatically, and I can assure you they do come. That's my advice. Don't be selfish when you're working for other people. Be selfless.
That's great advice. Andy Young also gave very similar advice about ego and not taking credit.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What's something that you were told where you were told no? This is another student question, but it wound up leading to something much better.
When, if you remember, go back to India, when the governor died, the man who took over his position, he told me he's canceling all my scholarship and absolutely no. And do you know, when he said no, my determination became even more stronger. I want to make sure what I'm made of. So that's when I start working hard. As a matter of fact, when somebody says no, I just buckle up and try to see what can I do. It's such a joy. If somebody says no and you convert them to say yes, the reward is enormous.
Right.
I wish you could experience that when somebody says no to a project or no to a reservation, and you work hard and you make it yes. Believe you me, that you feel so good that you cannot explain that.
Something that you have imparted to all of us as well. We are out of time today, but we're going to do a part 2.
Okay, I
or
look
maybe
forward
even
to
a
it.
part 3.
I enjoyed very much, and I think you can even do part 4 because we got so much.
Sounds good.
And Kashi, I'm very proud of you, and I think you have learned a great deal. And as a matter of fact, I admire you, what you're doing, and I can tell you, for you, sky is the limit. Keep on doing what you're doing, and I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so everybody, we're on the web at SuperNova Commencements. Look for us everywhere. We're on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and we will be back again next week. Graduates, remember, it is a blessing to be a blessing, and congratulations on